Senator Tubberville.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. General Milley, you've spoken today a lot about civilian control of the military. I appreciate the statements you made about that today. On June the 10th, though, I asked for formal questions for the record about Bagram Airfield, and I pointed out that having a major air base within 500 miles of both Iranian and Chinese borders would be very strategically invaluable. I asked you about the feasibility of retaining Bagram Airfield as a U.S. base. I'm still waiting for a reply. I hope you do see today, ignoring, questions that might come up from civilian oversight sometimes backfires on you a little bit. You apologized for being late for your statement today, the hearing, but you just got to understand the pattern here. I heard Senator Blackburn say about the book, you got to see how dismissive it looks to Congress that you've had time to interview and do all these interviews, but questions aren't answered. So I'm just troubled by some of those things. And also on August 18th, you said, quote, "There is nothing that I or anyone else saw that indicated the collapse of the Army and this government in 11 days, end quote. I find it unbelievable with your staff of 3,200 people and a budget of $419 million taxpayer dollars that we didn't see the obvious. But I do think you saw it, because July 11, 2019, you said, quote, "I think pulling out prematurely would be a strategic mistake," end quote. Mm-hmm. You said here today, and you also said that here today. You agree?
I 100% agree.
Thank you.
May I comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
On your first 2 points. On the intel piece, I stay with what I said. There's nobody called it 11 days in August. There's nobody who did that. And I brought the intel reports. We go into classified session. I'm happy to go over all of them. And on the first thing. And then the Bagram thing, I did put a very lengthy response in my written statement. I don't know if you had an opportunity to read it yet. I'd encourage you to read it. It is also something that General McKenzie put in his. And I can assure you that we looked at that whole Bagram issue very, very carefully.
Yeah. And here's what I'm struggling with. General McKenzie, 1945, we left Japan. They're one of our biggest allies today. We're still there. Germany the same way. Korea the same way. We had 2,500 troops. The war stopped in 2014, and we started what? Operation Resolute support. And we're having all these people cry, "We got to get out of here." Folks, we are going to pay for what we just did. I mean, I got young kids, y'all got kids and grandkids, and we're going to be back in there fighting. What's your thoughts about that, General McKenzie? And I know, we're not talking about the president. What do you think about the future of what we've got to do in Afghanistan?
So we have very few levers in Afghanistan right now because we've completely pulled out.
Will we be back?
I think we're always going to reserve the right to go after ISIS and al-Qaeda targets as they present themselves. We've been very clear on that. And that's not going to be easy, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the closed session. It will not be easy to do that. It will be possible to do that. As for larger engagements with the Taliban or whatever government follows them, I mean, that's going to be a hard road from where I sit, and I sit a very small slice of that. That's really a question, for diplomats and others to talk about how our future relationship with the government as a whole will be. But I think my judgment will be they're going to regress significantly in every sphere of activity in Afghanistan over the next few years with the Taliban in charge.
We can afford to survive with our military. We got that kind of money. And it just burns me up that we're eventually going to have to go back there. We're going to have problems here. I think we should have looked at it. I know President Biden wanted to get out. He told people President Trump wanted to get out. I disagreed with it. I mean, we gave up the best base in that area. And it's just amazing to me that we're going to have to go back, and hopefully we don't lose its channel. What's your thoughts about it as we ended up here, Secretary Austin?
Well, I don't think it's preordained that we're going to have to go back, Senator. I would tell you that what you've heard us say is that we recognize that transnational terrorists will migrate towards ungoverned spaces. We also are committed to not allowing al-Qaeda to regenerate and be able to export terror from Afghanistan to the United States of America. And we'll remain laser focused on that going forward. and we'll do everything within our power to make sure that doesn't happen.
Thank you. Could I ask you one question off? Are you against dishonorable discharges to the military for not taking a vaccine? You're the leader of the DOD.
I am the leader, and again, we have a non-judicial, a UCMJ that really addresses all of the issues in the military, and gives our leadership what they need to be able to enforce standards. Taking the vaccine is a requirement, and again, I'll just leave it at that.